I have literally come to the conclusion that I'm so terrified of dating. I don't want to date. I don't want to get married. I don't want to do anything. Men are lying, cheating. You can't express yourself, or you're arguing. What's the point? I get to know you, you get to know me, just for you to do what? Cheat? Just for you to not text or call? Just for you to not pay attention? Just for you to not communicate? Why? And then not only that, it literally messes with your mental when you're trying so hard to get better and to heal, and you fall in love and you get hurt and you want to do it again. You're tired. For what? For what? What is the point? And I feel like if I get into another relationship and it doesn't work out, for what? What is the point? What's the point? I'm so tired and I'm so sick.
The first thing I heard her say is, I'm terrified of dating. What this tells me is there's a possibility that something may have happened, right? Because, you know, all of us who are single, hey, you know, when we're in our 30s or 40s, we've gone through a lot of different situations, but are you terrified of dating? Most likely not. So that's the first thing that stands out to me as a red flag with her. Why are you terrified? Like, I can't swim, right? So I'll be terrified of jumping into a big, you know, body of water. But it's because I can't swim, right? Which means if you are terrified of something and it's something that you actually want to be involved with, like if I want to swim, but I'm terrified of a large body of water, it would behoove me to go learn how to swim instead of just being on social media saying, I'm terrified of jumping in a large body of water. So when it comes to this woman here, there's a possibility that she's terrified of dating because of either her choices, her lack of positive experiences, or lack of preparation. So you have to prepare to jump into a large body of water by learning how to swim. A lot of women aren't necessarily prepared for men because they don't understand men, like, at all. And you think just because you're a woman and he's a man, things are supposed to work out. No, there has to be a certain level of preparedness to date a man or date the type of man that you actually want, you know? So that's the first thing. The second thing that stands out to me is she says, I don't want to get married. Well, I'm quite sure, just hearing this woman, and I may be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. She's never been married before. So why don't you want to do something that you've never done before? See, just because your relationships aren't necessarily working out, how does that correlate to you not wanting to get married? Because the thing about it is dating, then relationships, and then marriage is like, you know, steps, right? So if you conquer the dating process and then you conquer the relationship process, there's a possibility that a marriage would actually be favorable if you conquer the two processes before marriage. So when you just never been married before and you said, I don't want to get married, it goes back to the terrified of A, B, and C. And it goes back to your potential level of preparedness. And another thing that a lot of men and women aren't prepared for is their own emotional triggers. That's preparedness also. See, you can be happy as I don't know what as a single person, man or woman, right? Everything is great because you're single. But the second you get in a relationship and they say or do something that may trigger something from your past, boom, guess what? You're back sad. You're back upset. You're back afraid. You're back terrified. Because the person that you're potentially in front of and dating isn't the terror. They're reminding you of the terror. And the terror is actually from your childhood or what something happened like years ago or whatever. You know, a recent situation that you have not gotten over yet. Preparedness. So when you ladies, and I understand, ladies, y'all, I hear it all the time. They say it's pee in the dating pool, and I get it. But there's a reason why that you're having so much of a problem dating, and you're terrified of dating. And I know it's crazy men out here, there's stalkers, and so I do understand. But when you get to the point where you feel like you want to give up, what is the point? Two things. One, what is the point of you giving up? Like, what are you getting out of giving up? Because if you give up at doing something that you want to do, you're now going to be sad because you're not doing the thing anymore. That's the first thing. The second thing is, why get on social media and whine about you giving up? What is the purpose of that? See, sometimes people just want attention. Sometimes people do things in order to get empathy and sympathy, right? Because if you literally are tired of dating, okay, why are you on social media telling people you're tired of dating? So that's the second thing I paid attention to. The third thing is something I talk about all the time. She has a wig on and eyelashes and makeup, right? Now, she may have just gotten off of work. She may have gotten, so it's okay to have a wig, eyelashes, and makeup on. She's in her car. She may have just gotten off of work. So I'm not saying that these things are bad, but you sit in your car with wig, makeup, and eyelashes on. This may be an indication, because I don't know her, this may be an indication that she may not feel comfortable being herself. Because what happens in, just like she said, relationships, she said, well, I get with somebody and we get in a relationship and he cheats or he leaves or it doesn't work out, right? Well, it's a possibility that there's something happening, within the process of the dating and in a relationship, and it falls apart. And it isn't always the man. Sometimes it's you. And then I think it's important for women to be okay with it being her and not always the man. So going back to the makeup and eyelashes, all that stuff. What if, and it's just an if, the man gets with this woman or you or whoever, and you look glamorous and flawless and, all these things or whatever, right? And then all of a sudden, y'all get into a relationship and you get comfortable and he finally sees you without the wig. Because, in the dating process, you want to wear your nicest dress, your nicest wig, or whatever, But when you get comfortable, you take the wig off. You take the eyelashes off. You take the makeup off. And say, as an example, you got freckles or something. Just saying, right? And you have so much foundation on, he didn't see the freckles that you have. But now you are who you actually are, your natural self. And what if the guy is like, yo, you just look so different. Like, this ain't really what I signed up for. And then on top of that is some other things that, a man or a woman can just, get on your nerves with, they might be chewing with their mouth open, or, little things that they may be doing that may be annoying also. But that plus you look so different without your wig, your eyelashes, and your makeup on, mixed with the new thing that they see that may be annoying. And you ladies, you see guys with things that are annoying too. And it causes a man to say, you know what, this ain't really what I signed up for. Well, ladies, a man has the right to change his mind and say, I don't want to do this. But it's important for you to pay attention to why he changed his mind. Give a man a call and say, hey, I just want to know, what is it or was it that changed your mind about me? Be real enough and vulnerable enough to have that conversation so you can become a better woman. Because it's a very good chance that all of your relationships ended for the same exact reason. Possible. Maybe the second y'all start having sex, you change. You either draw back a little bit because you're afraid of intimacy, but you like sex. I'll say that again. You're afraid of intimacy, but you like sex. So after sex, you may not want him to hold you or all these different things. Your love languages may kind of like be off from each other, or y'all have not discussed anything about love languages or levels of intimacy, and y'all just had sex, or y'all had sex and he has a low level of intimacy, so he isn't touchy or feely, and y'all are just off because you are super affectionate, or you get super affectionate after sex versus before sex because now you're comfortable. See, all these things have to be talked about, because when the real you is unveiled, because a lot of you ladies, you are afraid to show the real you, and you hide behind the makeup, the eyelashes, and the wig. And if you were to actually be honest with yourself, you would be able to be self-aware and understand that you may be operating with this fake or false level of confidence or security when you're in a dating process. But once you fall in love with the guy, like you said, you're insecure now. You thinking he's looking at other women, or you want to check his phone, or you're argumentative because you're not secure within yourself. And now the guy's like, yo, what's going on? Because these are the things that we men see that you may not know that we see. Some of you ladies are very insecure, hence the wigs and all that stuff. And then at some point, the real you comes out and you're super insecure. You're jealous, or, you just don't want a man to go anywhere or do anything because you think he's going to cheat on you, or he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Like, no man wants to deal with a potentially insecure woman, or a woman that isn't secure in herself, or isn't confident, or is lying about being confident. So the lady in the video says, the guys be lying. Well, sometimes y'all be lying. So if you present yourself as this secure person, and we start dating and we've been together for like 4 or 5 months or whatever, and then all of a sudden you just get extra needy or extra distant or extra insecure, or you want to check my phone, or you looking at me like, who you texting, and I'm just on social media. Like, now we're like, yo, what happened to the old you? The old you wasn't you, because you had your wall up at first, but now your wall is down and you're not the same person when your wall is down. And now the guy's like, yo, this ain't what I signed up for. So it's not just about the wig, eyelashes, and makeup. It may be about the personality traits also, because some women, they get in a dating pool with their guard up and they're a certain person. And because you're a certain person, you actually attract the same type of person. But that may not be who you are. And the second you get like used to a man, your wall goes down and you're a totally different person. And now he's like, yo, I'm not this intimacy, touchy-feely, kissing all your face. I'm not that person. And you're like, but I am. But he's like, but you weren't at first. See, a lot of you ladies operate in your role self and not your true self, because you grew up in a household where your mother may have wanted you to operate in your role self. She wanted you to make straight A's. She wanted you to dress like a little doll, or wear these nice dresses. But your real self, you was a tomboy. But your mom didn't want you to be a tomboy, so you had to operate in your role self, and it wasn't you. Kind of like Sanaa Lathan in Love and Basketball. You know, she was a tomboy, but her mom, if you remember in Love and Basketball, her mom wanted her to dress up like a doll and wear dresses and all this stuff and high heels, and she was awkward, right? So sometimes you ladies present yourselves to us in your role self, and you're not really that person. And then when we see the real person, no wig, no eyelashes, your personality is different because the wall is down and you're comfortable and you're finally vulnerable with this guy and you're a different person and your real self comes out, and we like, nah, this ain't what I signed up for. And I'm not saying men don't do this, but I'm specifically talking to this woman and the rest of the women who may feel like this. It's important to look inward. This is called having an internal locus of control. When you're looking inward, looking at like how you're presenting yourself, how you're representing yourself to the rest of the world, instead of just being like, oh, men are trash, or I'm tired of dating. Well, people you're dating is probably tired of you also, because you may be doing something. Let me give you an example. I sell products. I have a course. I have a coaching group. I have 2 different coaching groups, one for social media growth and the other one for emotional health, right? And when I put out a Facebook ad or certain things like that, or, you know, I send out an email to, you know, the people in my email list, right? Say I send out 5,000 emails, and maybe the wording is wrong with the email. And I send out 5,000 emails as an example, and I get 20 people to open the email. And I'm like, 20 people out of the 5,000 people? Do I turn around and say, you know what? I'm done with marketing? No. Maybe it's the wording. Maybe I need some help. Maybe I'm not good at marketing or whatever. Maybe my product itself sucks. So I'm making an example of how your product, one, may not be up to par, which is you yourself. 2, your messaging may be off or misleading. ladies with your wig and eyelashes and all this other stuff. You may be misleading men, or your attitude in the beginning versus when you get used to the guy may be misleading, or your triggers may continually keep coming up when you meet a guy versus when you date a guy and you're in a relationship with a guy. He says this or does this, and you're like, what'd you just say? I know you just, you know, and the dude is like, yo, what are you talking about? He triggered something that is from your past, and people keep triggering your past and you keep acting out. Or lastly, it could be who you're marketing to. Like, with my emails might be marketing to the wrong audience. You as a woman may be marketing to the wrong types of men. So overall, I feel bad when a woman says this stuff. You know, I feel bad for her, because we all want to be successful at whatever it is that we're doing, right? But at the end of the day, having this external locus of control isn't helping you. It's important to think inward, look inward, and have an internal locus of control and say, okay, maybe it's not the men, maybe it's me. Maybe it might be my emotional instability. It may be my attachment to all these wigs and eyelashes, and because I don't feel secure in myself not to wear all this stuff. And I keep bringing up the wigs and eyelashes stuff because it's a real thing. The typical black man will tell you to your face that we don't like wigs and eyelashes and all this excessive stuff. And a lot of you refuse to listen, and you out here looking glamorous, and you wonder why these dating situations never turn into relationships. And it's a possibility that it may be the wigs and eyelashes. Just something for you to think about. But overall, you got to look at your marketing tactics. And the wigs and eyelashes are an example of your marketing tactics, but you can get the person's email with your wigs and eyelashes, but you can't get somebody to buy your product with the wigs and eyelashes. Kind of like what I was saying with my products, because everything matters. How you communicate, how you allow people into your life. You know, sometimes you might like people, want to be with people, you like dating, relationships or whatever. But when things get too heavy, when things get too intimate, you may be the one as a woman pushing a man away. And then when he obliges you pushing him away, he's gone. Now you mad because he left. But you could be the one subconsciously pushing a man away without even realizing it. This is called self-sabotaging. So regardless of where you are in your life, don't give up on dating. Dating is about accumulating data. So I want you to look at dating as data. Talk to a guy that don't call you no more or ghost you. Just send him a text. Even though he don't just text back and say, hey, I just want to know what's the actual reason why you pulled away. Because I think women don't pay attention enough to the data of their dating situations. Because at the end of the day, I'm not married. So none of us are just out here accomplishing everything in our day. Because we all would be married, right? So I'm messing up out here in the world too. But I'm not on social media saying, oh, I'm giving up on dating. No, I just haven't found, well, I have found the right woman. And this is what's crazy. Sometimes, because this is where I am now in my life and how I feel, I'm thankful that I failed in all of these other dating situations. Because if I would have been successful, I would have already been married to somebody else, and I would have never been or had a chance to be with the woman I'm with now. So I want you to look at this from a gratitude standpoint. When you meet that right man, you're going to be appreciative of all of the failed relationships that you had. Because if you didn't have those failed relationships, you would have never met the guy that you're going to meet in the future. Because that's how I feel. I'm thankful that all these relationships that I've been in my life fell apart. Because if they did not fall apart, I would have not have met the woman that I'm with now. And I'm so thankful of that. So don't give up, because the day you meet the man of your dreams is the day you're going to say, damn, one, I'm glad I didn't give up. And two, I'm glad all of those other relationships did not work out. Don't give up, because I didn't give up. And I have who really I always wanted. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to have a conversation with you in the comments. I would love to help you in the comments. I have a link up above or down here that could possibly help you if you want to buy my course or join my coaching group. So I'll include that in the video also. I mean, around the video. But overall, I just want to help build persistence. So say something in the comments and look for a link around this video to buy my course or join my coaching group. Talk to y'all later.